So I call up the phone number I got from Fabian, and it takes me 15, 20 minutes to get through to not the administrator, but the assistant administrator, a woman. I can't remember exactly the conversation because it was so convoluted. She's like, "Who is this?" She knew, sort of, who I was, but acted sometimes like she didn't know who I was. So anyway, she kept going back and forth between, "Yeah, come over," to "Don't you ever come back here again." And I'm like, I don't know. I want to be done with the whole thing. To I'm still curious, and I really want to find out what's going on there. I really wanted to give up. Just something in me. But I kept persisting anyway, just to see what would happen. Maybe I was just, you know, pushing just enough to show I was genuine, but not hard enough to actually have them let me in. So anyway, she's back and forth, and I don't know. She's finally like, "Okay, come by. Come by, yeah. Come by and we'll talk in person." So when it's finally over, I'm like, should I go through with it? I really had to build up courage to go. Even driving over there, I was scared, wondering if I should go through with it, or just drive away and forget about the whole thing. So I forced myself, not knowing what was going to happen. Then I get to the gate, the residential gate, but the guard wouldn't let me through. I'm like, what's going on? I'm supposed to be here. I spoke to Sally, the assistant administrator. He says she called him to expect me, but then called back and said, "No, don't let me in." And I'm like, what the blank? So I come home and I'm drained by everything. I figured I'd call her and find out, but I just didn't want to. So I call back the next day and she's like, "I'm sorry, I changed my mind." And I'm like, "I'm just a regular guy." And I'm schmoozing it. She's like, "All right, come back. The guard will let you in. I'll make sure." So I go back Tuesday and the guard lets me in. And I drive down this long road, Vanderbilt Avenue. And I'm hot, nervous. I pull into the parking lot at the administration building. I gotta secretly get some video before I go in. I wasn't about to go in there with a video camera in my hand, you know? So I go down this long hall. There's plaques and old black and white pictures on the walls. Sort of a creepy vibe about it. And I get to her office. The doors are open. I go in. She smiles at me most of the time. I can't quote the whole conversation. I'm sort of bullshitting her the whole way, trying to keep everything smooth and normal in the most unnormal situation I've ever been in. She wants to know who I am and how I got in. How many times did I sneak in? What did I see? Who did I speak to? All sorts of questions. Like I said, I just winged it, which I kind of regret. I should have gotten my story straight before I went in there. But whatever. So finally, at one point, she says, "You're a writer?" Which I had told her. It's not true, I'm not. But now I remember, I told her that I was doing historical research about Long Island, and that's why I was there in the first place. She says, "We need a writer. You could write for us. We got our own historical documents and research that we do here." She's all perky, all excited. "Yeah, yeah." And I'm like, "Sure, I could do that for you." So then we go into the administrator's office. I'll call him Mr. Red, because his face was the kind of red like you see with people who have high blood pressure. She introduces me to Mr. Red. We shake hands. "Hello, hello. Nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah." Then she sends me back to her office, and I imagine they talk about me. Who knows what they say? I couldn't hear it. So to make a long story short, she comes back and she gets me and we talk some more. "Yeah, everything's fine. I'll call you later." And that was pretty much it. I go back to my car and get the hell out of there. And my mind is racing the whole way home. What did I just get myself into? What do I do now? Like I said, half of me just never wants to go back there again. It's crazy. And half of me wants to keep going back until I find something, even though I don't know what I'm looking for.